Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network here, where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata Live. How are you doing, Albin?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jan?
I'm good as well. I had a hard time coming up with something to edit about today, but then I saw a Twitter conversation and got some inspiration.
Right. And that inspiration was?
Inspiration is going to be salads. I'm going to be working on salads.
Right. So a bit of a food theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you have planned?
I'm gonna do some old school editing, and I thought we would start from the random item link and see if we can find a rabbit hole and just continue down that. So that's the idea for today. Maybe use some of the tools we have been showing off in the past.
All right. Yes. It's easy to fall in the rabbit hole, so that it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen like this, I think. And here is the item for salad. And I'm actually not gonna start here more than just figuring out, all right, there's a really low Q number here for it. But I want to start with a little bit of a query to give me sort of a landscape and see what we can do. So I'm going to use my favorite autocomplete here with control space and pick this third option to get a base for something. And then I just want items that are instances of salad. Even though it was a short number, I already forgot it. So I will just start writing salad here and see what we get. And there we see it, the salad. And I think let's start with just that. And we see 29 results. Some we don't get the label for here. Let's see if we can add a few languages to this to perhaps, what can we find salads in? Perhaps French, perhaps German, perhaps Italian, Spanish. Let's see, perhaps even Swedish. Let's see if that does the trick. A few more, still two missing. Let's see those two, see what it is. No. Let's see, what do we have? If it loads here. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed Nigerian. But this is just, yeah, it's an ordinary. All right, good. Good to know. We can close that one. And here we see these are all things you might expect, sort of like general kinds of salads. I'm going to take a look at this one. It's a salad from the Soviet Union. So and something here. And this looks like salad even for me. Yes, all right. So that one's an ordinary as well. Let's see, let's have a look at the shifura, see what that is. All right, a Syrian vegetarian dish. Nice. So now we know that these are sort of meant to be ordinary salads, but of course the mistake here is that they're not instances of salads. So that's what we're going to start fixing. These should be subclasses of salads. So let's see if some of these already has that as well. So let's check for subclass of, and then we're going to copy the same. See if they have both the subclass and this. There might be a few, yeah, 9 even. All right. So these 9, we should just remove the instance of. 9 we could almost do by hand, but I'm going to show you how I would do this. It was a little bit more than 9. So I needed to do something in quick statements. So then I would start changing item to QID. No, I don't need to do that in this. But what we want to change here is we want the output to be ready to just copy and paste into the quick statement. So we need the columns to be QID for the first. And the second one is actually going to be minus P31 because, oh, can't we do that in here?
It might just be the highlight. I'm not sure you can actually start it with a dash.
Yeah. So let's go with P31, and then I'll have to change it in my text editor to minus P31. And now the QID will be something like the item here, but I only want the Q number, so I need to remove what's in front of this. And now I don't need all these labels anymore, so I can remove that. So I'm going to bind something new. And I'm going to replace the string. I have to convert this to string first because this is your URI. And what I'm going to put in here is the item. And we're going to replace the thing that starts with HTTPS, and not dot, but colon //. And now I'll have to refresh my memory what the syntax is here, but it is www.wikidata.org/entity/ this I want to remove, and I want to replace it with nothing. We'll just give me the Q and call this QID. I think that'll do the trick. Almost do the trick. So of course, I'll have something for the value P31, but that's going to be much simpler because we know it's going to be the salad thing. So we can just bind Q9266. Know how to do it like this. S P31. Think that'll do it. Let's see. Yes. No. There's no S in the HTTPS. Aha. There we go. So now I got two columns here, one with the QIDs and one with the P31s. And I will download these as a CSV. And I should have shared my entire screen here. Let's see if I can change that. Stop screen sharing here. And see if we can get the entire thing going again. Share screen. And now go with full. All right. So here I'm in my text editor. Sorry, it's a little bit small. But I only gonna need to change this to a minus, and that's gonna be the trick. And then I'll copy this, and I'll head back. Too many things here to this tab, and we have a quick statements here. I already logged in, so I can just go directly to a new batch and paste this here. Nope, that's not what I want to paste. I want to copy all this. and paste it here like that. And let's see if I do the import CSV, if it looks any good. Yes, so here we get which items it's going to work on. You get a big red here that is actually going to remove the salad thing, which is going to be great because it's all these items already had it as the subclass of. So we can just press run on this. It's just 9, so this should be fairly quick. And we see the green bar ticking up and getting the done, run, and so forth. And now we can just have a look at the potato salad here. And make sure we didn't mess anything up. And of course, I'm you work with tools, you can be prepared to document if you see, it has still. Still has the instance of potato dish. I don't really like that, but that's not why I'm here today. We're going to have a look in the view history, see what we actually did. So here we can see remove the instance of, and if we just look at the diff here. So that was a fairly easy way to do 9 quick edits. Now we're going to try to do something a little bit more complicated. So if I run this again, I should have saved the first one. Let's copy this and do a new tab here. Or we can write this quickly from the start. So we'll select again. No, that's not the one I wanted. I want this one. And here we just want the item P31 with salad. And let's just double check here that we didn't miss anything. Now we shouldn't be able to miss anything because this is sort of like automatic, but you never know. All right, 0 results, exactly what we wanted. So no items with them both, but we're still going to have a few which only has it as the instance of. So let's run that and see how many we have. So we have 20 here now. And now we don't just want to delete these, we want to move them to a BP279 to be the subclass of. So I'll go back to my first query here. Did I do that? Yes, here we have it. And we're going to do it very similarly. We're going to remove this one. And if I run this now, we'll get almost the right thing. Now we have these. We're still going to go in and need to manually do the minus here in the text file. But now we also want to copy this. And we're going to bind this at 279. So we'll create a new column here, or select for something new. We're going to end up in a column. So if I run this now, so the values are the same. And we have one for P279, one for P31, which is great. So I'm going to download this again. Download CSV. There we go. Can I just click open here, or will it go to? Oh, yes. Nice. And now we have it here. Looks fairly okay. We need to remember to go up here to give the command for removing. And the other one is going to be the add. So we can just copy this again, entire thing, and head back into my tab for quick statements. You can say, I want to do a new batch. And let's see if I can paste this one. Yes. And if I do import here, hopefully it will say 20 or 40 even, because we're removing one and adding one on each. Let me change here so I can see everything. So on the green papaya salad, it's going to remove the instance of and add the subclass of. So, and it's going to look hopefully the same. I'm going to do a visual inspection here to see that I have 2 for each. 1 remove, 1 add. And it seems this is not a very complex operation. Should be fairly straightforward. It looks quite good. All right. So let's hit run again and see it start ticking. And while this runs, I'm going to go into the green papaya here to start looking at it, see if it looks good. Yes, so now it has a subclass of both a fruit salad and a salad, which of course seems a little bit redundant, but maybe this is something in between and we want both. I don't know anything about the green papaya salad, so I'm not going to argue with that. I'm just going to argue that it wasn't right with it on the instance of. And it continues going here. Just salad. Oh no, it's something special. So this has probably not the best. Let's see all the labels here. That didn't help me much. I would bet it should only have this as the actual label. But maybe it is salad in Japanese. I don't know. And this is how salad is pronounced in Japanese. So this.
What's the site links? No, just comments.
Only to comments. So that won't give us much information about how it looks, I guess. Oh, and they're all very different here. So I think this is. Yeah, now this is hard. Let's check here. We have it done. No errors. All 40 done. When you're just working on simple statements, it works. It's when you're starting adding and working on qualifiers, you might get some errors sometimes, or working with references. But this is really good. So now let's head back to my query again. Now if we run this one, hopefully we'll get 0 results. Woohoo! And now we'll do a query here we haven't done at all yet, and only search for things with subclasses. So we know there should be at least 29. That's how many we added, but there hopefully are many more. Ooh, 209 salads. So we only had an error rate on about a little bit more than 10%, but now we're up to a good quality level again. And of course, we're going to have some all around the world. Not all have labels in English. Dressed herring. That doesn't sound like a salad. Let's have a look at the dressed herring. That sounds like a Russian layered salad, right? Maybe it's just the name. Very. I'll keep that one for now. I think this was the item that caused the Twitter discussion. A sausage salad. The German sausage salad. There's some salad in here. Some. Yes. I actually couldn't keep myself from editing before I started when I was looking up the salad. I'm going to show you what I did here on the salad item, because that also had this has parts. but it had the part vegetable, fruit, meat, and dairy product, and it's sort of like, well, is this the recipe for a salad? So I added the nature of statement and the value optional, because not all salads has fruit, not all salad has meat, not all salad has dairy. Maybe not even all salads had vegetables, but that's often more than optional, I would say. It might be optional as well, but I think it's more often than just optional. And this nature statement, I think that is a quite interesting qualifier. And of course, it has this list of items you can use. And perhaps there's something better here. I did this in Swedish, and sometimes the labels aren't the best. So maybe there's something better than often we can use for vegetables. Originally? No. Requirement? No, not really. I think if you're doing like something with potatoes and beets, that could still, I guess, sort of kind of a salad, but it's not really vegetables. Or does this vegetable? Probably. Mainly, probably. Some, no. Opinion. Convention. Is that better? No, I think I'm gonna stay with often for now. And if anyone feels some other value is better, you can always change that.
It's a wiki.
It's a wiki, yes. Now I'm quite interesting because, of course, the worst salad is something you could argue about. Like, is it more sausage than salad in it? Should it be a subclass of salad, or should it be subclass of something else? I have no idea what a worst salad really is like for the food culture that eats it. So I'm not gonna enter that discussion, but I know about something that is called a salad, but isn't really a salad, and that's the Swedish condiment salad, which is a shrimp salad. It's not really a salad. It's sort of like almost like a dressing. It is stated as a salad here. Let's have a look at the Wikipedia article. Oh, and it has, of course, yes. So it could be a salad with shrimps, and then it could be this condiment that I'm talking about. So, all right, so we should actually have two different Wikidata items for this. Let's see what the Finnish article says. Now, my Finnish isn't great, so I'm gonna do, I couldn't translate it here. But I see it talks about the Swedish version with the mayonnaise. And I'm not sure this is not a great picture. This looks like a very high quality shrimp salad to me. More shrimp than mayonnaise. In the one you buy in the shops, it's usually mostly mayonnaise and then some shrimps in it. Sometimes these things are hard. I could add at least an English label for this. And we can also do this one. And I guess since both articles were about two things, I am not gonna split these now. This is gonna go on my list of food items to improve, which is growing longer every day. I still haven't come back to the porridge, which sort of almost started my live editing when I got stuck on porridge, which is a mess. We have another Swedish salad. I'm just gonna go, and that's the West Coast salad. I'm curious about how that one is. That's also a subclass of salad. Now this I want to change because this can only have one meaning. Yes, and you see it here on the sandwich. It's more like a some sort of condiment, and we don't even say salad in the article. We say it's a dish. So, what would you say it is? Do we have
I would say a sandwich.
We can add the English here. I'm pretty sure this would be West Coast salad. And this shouldn't be spelled. Let's check what we say what condiment is. Now there are better words in English than in. I'm gonna bet it. Yes. Swedish
topping here.
Topping. Yes,
very
topping
good.
is good.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go with that. Let's check if we have a topping. And this is not food item added on top of another. I'm not sure this is the one we want, but I think it's at least better than the salad.
Indeed.
So I'll go push this one and change this one. I think for this one, there's nothing about the history here, but I'm pretty sure this has a country of origin, Sweden.
That's a good property. I'm not sure we have been showing that in the past.
Not often. I think we sometime before when we're into food, perhaps.
Right.
But yes. Well, I'm gonna call this a day. We did a lot of cleaning for the salads, and now they should all be modeled similarly, which should make it more consistent when you query for them.
Right. Amazing. I really like when we do a bit of like generic editing like this. And today both of us are doing it because I am starting from the random button. It's gonna adjust my screen slightly like this. So let's go and find that random item. We don't have a random lexeme here. I think we might have it in like special pages.
Oh, you have it. You have a
specific.
Yes, I see it. But further down.
Oh, right. It's under lexemes.
Yes.
Right. That kind of makes sense. Okay. The first one we got here is category. Commons category, I imagine. No, not. Um, let's see here. It's for taxon or taxons. I imagine there. We already got the main topic here. Indeed, a bit of an angel effect here. I've been trying to adjust, but maybe it's just my day today. I'm not sure we can do much in this category, and I imagine we will get a couple of items like this, like a couple of papers, chemicals, maybe some stars somewhere in the galaxy. So let's move on. This at least is a person. It's a Ming Dynasty person, and we got a bit of an identifier here. So I wonder if that's something that. Yes, look here, we have an identifier in the description, but we also have it under identifiers. So that actually one thing we can do already. We can remove the identifier here from the description because it's just duplicate information in a new non-structured way. There we go. Um, this looks interesting to me. It's like country of citizenship, Ming Dynasty. I'm not sure. I think that might be the best current way to model it, so I'm not going to go into it. But I'm looking for rabbit holes, so I actually want to go down to Ming Dynasty. Um, Former empire. Here it says it's a historical Chinese state, so imagine um, country of citizenship makes sense from that type of sense. But this is really interesting. I'm not sure we can actually do anything about it because it's also a historical period, which is kind of true. Um, it depends on how you model it, the meaning of it. Currently, it's two things, both the historic state and historical period, as well as the culture and the style. I mean, all of these are things that we call Ming, but are they the same thing? I would say no, but this is how it's currently modeled. So let's see. Maybe we can actually find, like, for example, the culture or style because we have a lot of artworks. So what if I just try to like use the autocomplete here for Ming? A given name, philosopher. Okay, let's. It's very generic, so maybe we don't get any hit. Former empire. Given name, family name. We got a work here. Poetry, researcher. That's not gonna be the way to do it. So I'm gonna move on from that and see if we might run into something. Maybe it links to like its culture or to its style or something like that. Um, Official name. We got a bit of a warning here because the date could be indicating an older calendar. We got native label, official language, continent. Let's see. Okay, makes sense. We have the same city twice here, but we had an instance of this in between, so it makes sense. The ordering could be improved in the UI here, but otherwise it looks completely correct. We got a bunch of administrative entities here, but what does it say? It should also be country then. Yeah, maybe it's a subclass of a country currently with its historical one. Currency, we got two. Let's value type constraint. This is interesting. Values of currency statements should be instance of currency or fictional currency. And we got the same thing here. So that's, let's have a look at those two. Oh, and again, this is like a system rather than the currency itself. Let's see the Wikipedia article to ensure that's also the case. Um, yes, it's it just says we exchanged things with metals. Um, so it's not really currency. I think we could actually drop that from Ming Dynasty because it isn't that helpful. However, this is interesting. Historical paper money of China. I see one thing we can do here. It's to use a lowercase h. That. But then maybe this could have instance of currency. Let's see the English Wikipedia article. It was a series of banknotes. Okay. Which is just paper money. We're getting close to being able to say this was a currency. It was a fiat currency. And I think that's enough to being able to state it's a fiat currency. And we also get the explanation here, I imagine, for the author be metallism. Because of inflation, they must have switched to it, I imagine. I'm not going to read all of this, it would be very boring for all of you, but we can say that this was a fiat currency until this get away with one of the warnings. So let's add a statement. Instance of fiat money. And I'm pretty sure that's what that Wikipedia article pointed to. We can double check that. English Wikipedia. Fiat money. No, it's hard to say. Yes, is a type of currency. That must have been the right one. And if I go back to Ming Dynasty and reload this here. Let's see. Now I lost it where?
There you have it.
There we got it. But let's see. We still got one warning, but we can see changed warning. And it should have a statement with the ISO code because it's a currency. However, not historical currencies. So let's first see if this property where that warning is set on has some type of like end time or something like that it cares about. So it should be not value type. Let's see, requires, yes. Here it should be required this. But it doesn't take into consideration end time. But here, allowed qualifiers, it says end time. I'm not sure how we can model it to say that this does not apply if it has end time. But so I'm gonna leave
Yeah, I
that
don't
one.
think we can do that in this. Yeah.
No, I'm not even sure it's possible actually.
Yeah.
So
You could add the time period on the Ming Bao Chao. You can point back.
indeed, maybe if it was
I was thinking with the property time period.
Oh, indeed. But I feel like that would result in someone else having to clean up more because the Ming Dynasty is could imagine that being split in the future. So I have a little
Perhaps.
bit of
Yeah. All right.
mixed
Yeah.
mixed
That's
feelings
fair.
about it.
Yeah.
But something we could add is to have the start and end dates here as well. Let's see here. Yes, we got a start date. And then it's tricky because they was issued in again under a rebellion. And not only is it tricky enough when they started and ended, but during a rebellion, I imagine we aren't necessarily super sure. But we do have the start date, and I'm kind of happy to put that in there. Start time, and it just got a year like that. Then we got a suggestion here, subclassified money, because it's just one example of this currency. I think, however, that fiat money is not like money, but it's currency. So it's actually instance of, I believe, and not necessarily subclass because this isn't multiple currencies. So I think instance of is correct here. I think if you, for example, would check dollar or something like that, it would also be instance of the currency. I see. We can actually check that. United States dollar. And it's instance of currency in different ways. So I think we're good as it is, but it has a little bit confusing name here that it's fiat money rather than currency.
Would you like to add a sum end date sum value?
That's another good one. End time, and then we got this little bit of a trick here. We click on this ones and say unknown value. You heard John say some value. That's its name on commons. It's a better name. Unknown value doesn't mean it's unknown, but that's what Wikidata calls it. I do not know if that's a fabricator issue, but it feels like something that should be changed actually. I moved back to the Ming Dynasty here. It replaced a lot of dynasties and empires. Got a language used. I imagine there could be more ones. Spoken text audio. We got a dissolve date. Locator map. Coat of arms. This is interesting. We got a warning here on the coat of arms. It should match the regex. Oh, it assumes that it says seal in the end.
Do we have a specific for seals? Specific image for that?
A specific image?
Image property?
No, but it says here should match the regex. Not match. Which is odd. I feel like it starts with seal. So I see why do not match, but I'm not sure what ID was here. I'm gonna leave that. I imagine it's a potential issue. It's called potential for a reason. Religion, history of the topic, described by source, different from, permanent duplicated item. That's always interesting to have a look at. I don't think that makes it negative. I think it's that part that would make it. So yes, this is a not regex indeed. This start of the string and this does not match whatever is in this group here. That's a good catch. And indeed, that's what its result is. Thank you. Let's see. I opened.
Yes. So I think that one exists because there is a property P158
Oh,
for
okay.
seal image.
Seal image. Now I'm following.
So,
I could move
so you
it,
should perhaps move it.
but I could also do it like this. Or move it would just result in one edit. Let's see if I have that. That's the move it, right? I'm using the wrong one, of course I am.
Yeah.
I want to move it to the same. I need a property entity or the property ID of seal.
P158.
P158. Move
Yes.
plane. I do not want to copy it. I want to remove this. And there we go. So if I reload here, it would update it. And I am indeed using a legacy version. I think you can use, yes, it says it here. It's a gadget nowadays. So you can just enable it under your settings instead of including it in your custom scripts. But let's see here. The duplicated item, it's the lovely wiki. So not much to see there. So according to you, Q29, I think this is about the currency.
Mm-hmm.
And Q29, is that fiat money? No, that's 24. Let me search for that Q number. Q29 03. That's another one. 5224. 524. Periodical.
No, you mistyped.
I mistyped. 29 03 52 52. There is a page named, okay. Then we're going to okay, so this particular item, yes, should indeed be instance of, because it's an instance of a currency rather than a subclass of fiat money, in my opinion. Yes. Let's see what the article says. It's a little bit tricky for me to parse depending on how credit is used in French. It's either currency or something else. It could also be credit, which would then be subclass. If it is credit, it's a subclass. If it's currency, then it's instance of, in my opinion. Let's see if we can go slightly more down this rabbit hole. Different from that scene, we got a bunch of identifiers. Is there something we are really missing here? We got this recoin. Most relevant properties which are absent. Start and end time is very common here. Country it claims. Followed by. That one is rather interesting. Basic form of government. Um, that's interesting. So let's basic form of government. That seems reasonable. Yeah. So let's head over to the Wikipedia article. I do not know this. Oh, what's the actual label for that? Oh, that's gonna go take forever. Let's. I think there is a shortcut, but I found it rather easy this time. Can we just search for government? Yeah, it's in the contents. Described as one of the greatest areas of orderly government and social stability. Okay. Um, do we have anything about its type, like generic? No, it doesn't have like this was of this specific type. So the reason I'm looking for that as well is because then we would have if there would be if it would point to an article, so to say, we would have a Wikidata item, which would make it easy for me. This is however interesting. We got a bunch of ministries. Which is interesting. This one seems to be about Imperial China, okay, makes sense. What does the Wikidata items of the ministries look like, I wonder? And again, we have someone who notices things much better than I do. Let's see here. Government, absolute monarchy. And here we do have a Wikidata item in the outer end. So this would be exactly what I would be looking for. I'm gonna open that in a new tab and head back to the Wikidata item, copy the QID, and let's see, renders, basic form. Why does it not autocomplete? Basic form. Can I do form? Oh, maybe I misspelled, I assume I did. There we go. One thing from recoin down. This is also interesting. I didn't notice this before. It's a historical Chinese state. Got start time in 1644, and they got the sovereign state in 1644 end time. So it might be that not only would this be split into culture, historical period, style, and so on, but also for the various states. Could be tricky with the Wikipedia article, which I imagine is rather wide. Okay, I think we might still have time to look at the the ministers here. So I was interested in how this looked in Wikidata. So just double checking here under Ming. So it indeed was under the Ming period. And I imagine it would then link to Ming. Part of 3 departments and 6 ministries. That's like the structure of the government. Imperial China. But it was also under Ming, as I understood it. They are overlapping, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Oh, let's see here.
This is much wider.
Yeah, indeed,
So,
it's like the same, but just much wider.
yeah.
Um, However, I think the ministry extended beyond the Ming period, so to say, and the Ming Empire, and that causing this to at least not be wrong, but it's just much wider. But Ming would be kind of too narrow. Um, and ouch, Imperial China. This might be a tricky one day to take a stab at. And diplomatic relations, state is subject of China-Iran relations. That's replaced by, okay, I see, has part, and here is actually all the dynasties. So I see why. Maybe the better way to do it would be to link more than one dynasty here instead. Yeah. Then Empire of China, that's another item. Okay, it's what's followed. So 1912, 1915 to 1916. Yeah, okay, that makes sense historically as well. But then we're getting down much more to much smaller sections, which is more preferred in my opinion. Really having it neatly modeled like this. Hmm. Okay. I mean, it's not wrong here. It's just a little bit hard to work out how it should be modeled one day. And it's a bit more of a bigger thing than I can do here, and also someone with more expertise in the area than me could probably do a much better job. So I'm gonna do last one thing and check one more random item and you see if we can get a couple of more edits. And here is also a hint to the key shortcuts gadget. I think that's the gadget to find it's for a lot of things like add a new statement if I'm not mistaken. It's also for Wikipedia, some things like that. So that's highly recommended, and it's also a gadget. So you can find it under preferences there. Here we got a village in Poland. Instance of village of Poland. That's an interesting one for me because It feels like it just says instance of village and then country Poland. But I imagine it might be it got some type of status, like cities in Sweden once upon a time had a status. And it's like, yes, indeed. So designation for an administrative territorial entity of a single country, and it's a subclass of a village. That makes a lot of sense. We do have a Wikipedia article. Let's see if we do not have an image. No, we do not have it. Nor do we have much information here, which I can add. So let's see if this is the last item we see for the day. It's a category that's usually tricky. However, we do not have its topic or main subject of category. Bids for the Pan American Games. What is the name of the property? Is it main use categories main topic? Combines topics. And let's see exactly what this contains.
So you will add bids and Pan American Games.
I think so. Let's see here. What recognized? Do we used to have the concept of what type of bid it is? I imagine it's like the Olympics, but I would really like that item to point to.
There's a good item for that on Wikidata.
There is a good item. Okay.
Just
Then let's just get the Pan American Games. I imagine we can search for it in Wikidata. It can't be that many. So it combines Pan American Games and bid. I imagine.
No, not as a qualifier.
No, of course not. That's the qualifier. And that's the qualifier.
I have to say
Do
first.
I need
You
to
get in your...
create it? Okay. And I imagine this is a warning because we just got one. Bid. Proposal to host a sporting event. That's exactly as we wanted it. And the warning disappeared because now we have two things. And I think this is generally this and its main topic. It's great to have those on the Wikimedia categories. It really makes them more structured. And with that, I think we made today's last edit, at least on my end. So, shake.
All right. So some salads and some mixed salads.
A bit of history, a bit of categories, yeah.
Yeah, currency. All right. And we'll be back next week as usual.
No.
Or
Next
not?
week it's vacation.
We're
on
still in July, but all right.
Yes, but it's like the last day, I think. Yeah.
All right. So then we're on for a short break, and we still don't know if we're going to do anything during Wikimania because the schedule is not out. So, but it's probably going to be something Wikimania on, so that we're actually going to participate instead of, unless there's just a long big break at this. But I don't think it's going to be. So there might be like a 3-week break before we're back or something like that.
Indeed, but we will both be around during Wikimania for Orchard topics, I imagine.
Yes. All right. So until then, happy editing.
Happy editing.